My card is not supposed to expire until tomorrow, which is January 25, 2026. It's a 70 unlimited, and they're stealing my money. They're trying to get me arrested. They're putting false arrest warrants on me, and they already made the card expire. So this MTA is being used for genocide, and they said during the forced arrest like that, they could kill you and claim you were resisting arrest. Anytime I try to use the bathroom, they're always bothering me. So FIFA is not safe to bring the walk up here. My mother was killed. My mother's adults are part of a narcotic killing gang that kill people for money. And me and my mother are worth a lot of money because the immigration arrested me wrongfully as a child. But my mother brought me here with the green card. So me and my mother was trying to sue, and our daughters, heard, were aware. So they poisoned my mother. I believe that daughter may be working for ICE right now, for Lally. And she's trying to also get me killed and share the money with ICE and the narcotic gang she's part of. So this is genocide going on. And while I was using the bathroom in Manhattan, they had me arrested. Said I stole a cell phone. They didn't find any cell phone, but they told me that they had to come to court because they said I was screaming as they were arresting me. I said, yeah, I was screaming because you always arrest me all the time. When I was a child, immigration arrested me. Then you arrested me after my mother died, locked me up in the psych ward. My daughters also poisoned my mother with cancer-free poison. And she ran to New York because she went to stay with them in Pennsylvania, ran to New York to go to the hospital. And the daughters came here and disrupted her medical treatment, told the hospital to lock her up in the mental ward. And my mother was so angry. And if you're angry in the hospital, they have a psychiatric medication they can give you. They gave her the ketamine, and my mother's face, she died in anguish. I was like, in anguish. And they would do an autopsy. So this country is continuing the genocide of Africans, and nobody would help me. My mother's daughter, when a kid, they stole my mother. So I finally got my green card, after my immigration arrest. But they gave me 2 green cards mistakenly, so my mother held one for me. So my mother's daughters killed my mother. They stole the green card my mother held for me and my other immigration document and my passport. Then the other one I held for myself, 2019, the police arrested me while I was begging for money. A guy came and slapped me on the back of my head. And I told him to stop doing that on July 20, 2019. A day synonymous with my mother's daughter's son's birthday, Flora. She also joined in killing my mother. So the Flora's son's birthday is December 20th. So on July 20, 2019, the police came and choked me as I was begging for money. And they had the guy slap me on the back of my head, and I told the guy to stop doing that. That was a distraction. Then the police jumped me, so I was fighting with the guy. So I wasn't fighting with the guy. There's a police camera. And they went and locked me over the cycle, misdiagnosed me with all kinds of stuff. So since then, they stole all my green card, extra green card I had. My mother stole the other one because they gave me 2 green cards mistakenly, the immigration. So that I don't have proof of my identity. I can't go back to work. I'm wearing dirty clothing because they jumped me everywhere. If I tried to use the bathroom, they called the police on me. And it's a black American woman that was telling me last year that we're going to drag you out of the bathroom one day. So I reported her to the Queens prosecutor, Melinda Katz. They called them district attorney. This is the 71st Avenue, R train, Queens, and she didn't respond back to me. So I stopped coming to use the bathroom. I was using the bathroom in my hand on the 2 train. Then they came and dragged me out. The police said I stole something. I said I didn't steal anything, and they, and they searched all my bag without a search warrant, searched my phone without a search warrant, and they dragged me out of the bathroom. I have privacy rights in the stall. I was in the stall, when they dragged me out. So that's an invasion of my privacy under the United States law. They have no right to invade the bathroom. I have privacy. I wasn't in imminent danger. I didn't come. I wasn't going to shoot somebody. They said somebody said I stole a cell phone, and they said the black Americans said that. So any bad thing that happens to black Americans, they repeat it on me. There was a white Spanish female. She beat up a black American boy a few years ago. Said the boy stole her cell phone, and she called the police on him. But the guy drove back to the hotel where she was and gave her the cell phone back. So she left it in the Uber, in the taxi. So then she fled to California, and they were looking for her and they arrested her. So the police were told to handle cases of missing cell phones carefully. So I was already in the toilet in Manhattan, number 2 train, Chambers Street, and they came into the bathroom toilet and dragged me out. There's privacy rights once you're in the store. So those police invaded my rights and they framed me up. So I was going to go to court, but when they arrested me, they took me away in handcuffs. For something like that, they said the reason they were going to arrest me is for like obstruction of justice or something like that. And under the bail law, they're not supposed to take you to prison for something so minimum. The only reason why they can take you to prison is if you commit a murder or use a weapon. So it wasn't a weapon charge or anything like that, and they were even lying. I didn't obstruct justice. I was just telling them they have no right to invade the toilet. I wasn't of danger to them, and there's privacy rights, and they were dragging me out of the toilet, and I told them I want to bring my bag along with me. And under United States Supreme Court rule, you can resist an arrest by, I didn't use any physical force. I was just trying to take my bag, and they were dragging me, because the last time they arrested me in 2019, they stole my bag from me. They didn't let me take my bag, and I had thousands of dollars in that bag. I was going to use to buy a house, my green card. They stole everything. So I knew it was another robbery/false arrest. So they choked me, and they used excessive force, illegal search, So now they're doing it again. As I was using the phone booth upstairs, I was eating plantain chips. That always gives me diarrhea, because I have diarrhea issue. Here's my diarrhea drugs. So they're monitoring me. Once you've ever been arrested by immigration, the FBI will monitor you forever. This country is invading the rights of immigrants. So I was eating this, and it always causes me to have diarrhea. So I was eating this, I even saved the wrapper, I stuck it in my bag somewhere. It's so cold, that's why I stuck it in my bag so I don't trash the floor. I stuck it in my bag. Let me dig it out. Wow, so cold. I'm freezing. So I need to use the bathroom so bad. This is the wrapper of the plantain chips. It's a fiber. It contains a lot of fiber. I just bought it with my food stamp card. So they're monitoring me, and any chance they get, they torture me. They're trying to get me to do in my pants. They're trying to get me to do in pants, and this is an attempt to defraud the United States. So, because the immigration arrested me 25 years ago, it's too late to sue the United States. So, there's been a lot of guys online saying, you look stupid. A lot of black Americans, they told them to be mocking me online. So, one of them was saying, you look stupid, and they have different people. So, I guess they want to claim I'm mentally retarded. So, that's why I couldn't sue immigration. And they have my mother's daughters take control, guardianship over me, and sue immigration and share with the ICE agents. So this is an attempt to defraud the United States. So what they do is, if I'm trying to use the bathroom, they find a way to delay me. Either they bring the police to get me to defecate to my pants, chase me away from the bathroom, or like today, they quickly cancel my metro card. So I need, this is a genocide. The ICE agent, I heard they just killed somebody in Minnesota. They are working with people to rob civilians, and take over your money. So the ICE arrested me. They were called INS in 2000 wrongfully. It's too late to sue them because me and my mother, we didn't have any. We tried to find a lawyer, but we couldn't find a lawyer to sue. The lawyers were telling us they don't sue immigration. If the personal injury lawyers say they don't know immigration law. And the immigration lawyers were saying they don't normally sue immigration because it's a conflict of interest. They really want immigration to be approving benefits for the clients. And if they're suing immigration, it's like a conflict of interest. They told me to go to the regular personal injury lawyers. And the regular personal injury lawyers was like, they don't really know immigration law that well. So these ICE are abusing people and tag teaming with family members to steal please don't touch my stuff. I don't like people rubbing their body on me. Don't rub your body on mine. Because I hear that in France, people are complaining that during the World Cup in 2022 or the Olympics in France, passengers were arriving at the airport and there were like bed bugs. There were like bed bugs in their luggage. If anybody touches their luggage, they were catching bed bugs. So anytime they hold me up like this, people will come to rub their body on me. I'm like, I hope it's not another siege. So my life is in danger. The United States is so full of corruption right now. They're robbing immigrants. Another immigrant like me, he used to sleep on the floor. He's from Senegal, doesn't speak English. I started speaking with them, and he said soon they came and robbed them, stole his green card, stole his passport. My mother also, when she was alive, she was from Nigeria. They stole her U.S. passport when she was homeless, stole her stuff. They stole all my all my immigration documents, my Nigerian passport. You know, so they're robbing us, and the ICE agents been involved. A black American was trying to help me as I was trying to sue ICE. They were called INS. In 2014, they sent the police to choke him dead. They said that when they choked him dead, they took his body away, his family, and people alleged he was selling cigarettes around that time also. But said that day he wasn't selling cigarettes, allegedly. I said, but he always keeps a lot of money in his pocket. He said a lot of the money he had in his pocket disappeared. You know, I said the police were laughing after they killed him. You know, telling the paramedic not to do resuscitation. You know, so there was a guy that was, I follow his account, yeah, and he was saying, you look stupid, you look, he always talks, I think he talks about me a lot, hey, yeah, I look slow, and he has a green, white, green, that's the Nigerian flag, you know, so they have a lot of kids spit at me, say, retard, so, you know, I'm not a retard, I'm really high functioning. I'm so sorry, my mask is cut in pieces because, you know, I've been wearing the same mask for a long time, so this is just number wear and tear, so that's why it's cut in pieces, not because I'm retard, it's just because I'm poor. I'm wearing dirty clothes, not because I'm retard, it's because, you know, I don't have money, they stole my green card, I can't no longer work as a home, I beg for money on the street, and they always send people to abuse me, chase me away from where I beg for money, so they leave me broke, so that the ICE can, my mother's daughters can call me retard and get guardianship over me and take over my estate and get guardianship over me and sue and be in control of my money and maybe move me to another country. So I'm such a retard, I'm not going to be safe in America, and then rob me in another country. It's either that or they just want to kill me with the police. I'm thinking they want to kill me actually. But some of these people, I follow their account and they're issuing Nando's, you know, I think he was formerly in prison and he's been released and he's wearing a hat, green, white, green, and that's Nigerian's flag. So I think so they may be getting hints also, they may be trying to lock me up in the mental home. Because Eric Adams said anytime they arrest a homeless person, they should lock them up in a mental home. And they say they can beat you to death in a mental home. So, you know, I think they want to kill me by means of mental home. Lock me up in a mental home, and they said, because the Oklahoma Disability Law Center said, you know, there's a number of people they put in the mental home as retarded in Oklahoma, and they'll beat them to death, rape them, and steal their sperm. And another thing they want to do is I was born a boy, I'm now a girl. So if they can put me in a mental home, beat me up, steal my sperm, they said, you know, the jury doesn't really give any care in the world about people that are mentally ill. Even if you're alleged you were raped, the jury won't care. There was a lady in Florida, she was in coma, and she was in a nursing home in Florida like 2-3 years ago, and she became pregnant, and the baby dropped out of her vagina. She was a white woman, and her mother was like, how is her daughter that's been in coma for like 10 years suddenly become pregnant 2 years ago, and a baby dropped out of her vagina? And the nursing home told her she must have came in pregnant 10 years ago. Sometimes there's delayed pregnancy. And the baby was black. So the woman was like, our daughter doesn't know any black male. And the nurse taking care of her was black. So the lady was like, you know, she thinks her daughter was raped by this nurse, the black male nurse in Florida. And the nursing home said, no, we don't want to call the police. I think she came pregnant. But she called the police and they did a DNA test. And it turns out the black male nurse was the one that raped her. You know, so they say in American nursing homes and mental homes, rape, abuse, killing, you know, it's very rampant. Even my mother used to work in nursing home and hospital as a nursing assistant. She told me the same thing. I was locked up in a mental ward also. You know, after they arrested me, he said, you know, a guy slapped me and I told him to stop doing that. The police came and trapped me, July 2019. And they went and locked me up in a mental home in NYC Psychiatric Hospital. And, you know, even the doctors there said they were like, you know, they don't believe, it's like they don't believe me, that I'm not crazy. I'm like, I come to this NYU hospital since I arrived from Nigeria 25 years ago. I said, I've never had a mental diagnosis. I said, how do I suddenly turn crazy? You know, so this was going on. So the MTA president also issued a very bone-chilling statement last year. He said, you know, yeah, he has a lot of bags in his tricks. He has a lot of tricks in his bags to permanently remove homeless. So I guess, you know, his name is John Oliba. I also contacted the MTA CEO, and the president of MTA, his name is Demetrius the Mistress Kirschlow. I contacted that one was my exact is a black American. I saw him on the street and I was like, look, I'm having another problem in your subway. I'm getting harassed. People want to set me on fire. And he was so standoffish. He didn't even want to talk to me. He said he's in a hurry to go somewhere. So I asked him for his email. I emailed him. He didn't respond. I saw him again. I said he didn't respond. He told me to send him another email. I sent him another email. He doesn't respond. So they are all in cahoots. So they're stealing money from my subway. My ride isn't supposed to expire until tomorrow, January 25. It's a 7-day, and they quickly went and canceled my money. During the COVID, as soon as I buy the $34 unlimited ride, I swipe once. By the next day, they tell me your card is expired. And I kept, during the COVID, they said they were scared of homeless people, especially black homeless. Especially black people. They said the hospitals, they were dumping the black patient into a special section because they thought the black patients were more likely to have COVID, and the ones that have COVID, the doctors won't go near them. So they turned COVID to a black disease. They said the COVID killed blacks in New York City 4 times the rate of whites. So they were thinking there's something wrong with black people. There's nothing wrong with black people. It's just that we are more poorer, we're more exposed, we're more likely to be outside, we're more likely to be struggling. So, a lot of us were getting COVID. So this subway, I was recording everything during 2020 to 2024. Anytime I buy a 7-day unlimited card, as soon as I swipe once, by the next day, it will tell me your card is an error. I kept spending money and they were taking all my money. They wanted to run me broke and make me commit suicide or whatever. I think that's what they were trying to do, because if you're broke. So I'm trying to make it to the bathroom, and they already, stole my money, and already they have an arrest warrant on me, because when they came into the bathroom in Manhattan, November 14, 2025, Chamber Street, and said I stole something. I didn't steal anything. They said I was screaming too much as they were arresting me. So they told me they were going to charge me with disorderly conduct. Said screaming, is a disorderly conduct. I said, I have right to defend myself. If you're accusing me of something I didn't do and you're taking me in handcuffs, I have a right to tell you I didn't do it. If I'm screaming as I'm talking, that's my prerogative. And they were telling me, use your house voice. Use your house voice. And at that time, I used to watch videos. I used to watch videos on Instagram. There's a dog named Pluto, and he speaks English. He's an husky. And his owner would say, use your house voice. Use your house voice. When the dog starts barking, and the dog will start speaking English. I think this is him, Pluto. Oh, no. I just missed him. Is this Pluto? No, this is fine. Let me find him, Pluto. So apparently, the ICE is monitoring my phone. That I watch that Pluto a lot. It's a dog, it's a husky, and he speaks English. And his owner always tells him, use your house voice, use your house voice. So as I was screaming, crying, the police said, use your house voice, as they were arresting me. I said, you're screaming, use your house voice. So the ICE sent us police to arrest me November 14, 2025. His owner always says, he will speak English. That's him speaking English.
Hello there, Mrs. Annabelle Monkey Pants. How you doing? Hello there, Mrs. Annabelle Monkey Pants. How you doing?
And she's calling him Monkey Pants. I don't know what's going on. And I think the lady here may be aware also that was arrested. Because she's been saying Baba. I think she called the dog Baba. My name is Baba Tunde. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know who she is, what kind of connection she has with ICE. It's a rage baiting my husky. There's a latest post.
Oh, no, you don't want it, huh?
Let me rewind it. Rage baiting my husky. So I believe she may be aware, and she's also issued in the non-dos. So when they do start to get me angry, and they can arrest me. They may have an arrest warrant on for me, because when they arrested me November 14, 2025, they told me to come to court, but the police took me to their prison, and they carried my car down the staircase, broke the tire, and on the day of the court, I was pushing my tire to go to court, And all of a sudden, the tire broke down. And people had to be helping me, and the train door was hitting me, and people helping me, and I missed court that day. So I haven't been able to find a lawyer, and I was also afraid of going to the court because I heard that, sometimes they will sentence you to incarceration in a mental home. So you're trouble to the subway, and lock you up there. So I wanted to get a lawyer, I couldn't find any lawyer, to help me, so. Because
Oh, now you don't want it, huh? Here, take it.
See, it's a rage bait in my husky. She will give him food and take it away. Give him food, take it away.
Here, take it.
And she's like rage bait in my husky. Let me rewind it. So, rage bait in my husky. She will give him food and take it away. Give him food and take it away. So they thought if I'm trying to use the bathroom, they'll either find a way to stop from using the bathroom. So she posted the video 2 days ago. So they're engaging in rage bait. Rage bait. They say, they always try to get a black person to snap. And they've seen I don't have enough money right now to, all my accounts is running down. So they'll always, steal money from my Metro card. Because it's so cold, and people are not really giving me money in the cold. Everybody just running away from the cold. So this is sickening. So anytime they see my money's down, they will start stealing money, and start stealing money from my Metro card. But the good thing about it is this can be traced, and these people can be arrested for racketeering. The MTA CEO, the MTA president, he can be arrested for racketeering. Because stealing money from somebody, I don't care. Even if it's just $34. Because my car is supposed to expire tomorrow morning. So I keep the receipt, and the serial number can be used to trace. So I think they're trying to kill me. They did not message the bathroom. I have diarrhea. Anytime I eat food like this, plantain, sweet plantain, it always, mess up my stomach. So, and they told people to be beating me up. I go to a restaurant like Chipotle. I buy food, and the worker will try to kick me and beat me because they have a bathroom. So they're telling people to treat me like a monkey. And they say this is how they kill blacks in this country. They get you angry and kill you. And me, my father is dead, my mother is dead, and my mother's daughters are killers. So nobody will speak out for me. So they say they love that. We put you in a prison, put you in a mental ward, and kill you because your father is dead, your mother is dead. So what this country is doing is very wicked, and this is a war crime. And another Nigerian, he told me he's also homeless. He said they lock him in the mental ward. My mother also, they lock her in the mental ward. While she was homeless, I addressed to them to lock her up. Wrongfully, I wanted daughters to work for ICE. She was born in New York, Ibalale. And on her birthday, they arrested me November 14, 2025. Her birthday is 14. That's the current date. I believe she works for ICE because she lives in Pennsylvania, but I always see her in New York. When I'm begging for money, I don't speak with her after she killed my mother. I barely speak with her. Then during the COVID, I asked her to borrow me money because the guy took me home and raped me, and he said he was going to let me use the bathroom, but he raped me, and he said he wants to get married, and I'm like, why does he want to marry me? I just met him on the street. I needed a bathroom. They locked up all the bathrooms in the train station. It's like 500 bathrooms like this in the train station, and they locked it up from 2020 to 2024 just to get me to leave the subway because they don't have diarrhea. So I was begging people on the street, and the guy told me I could come and I'll come use the bathroom himself. But because I didn't know they had sent him to set me up, I beat this ICE also, and they told me we have to get married already. I said no, I can't get married with you because if I marry someone, I'm trying to sue ICE. If I marry somebody, the person will get 50%. And I don't know you like that. No, I'm not into marriage scam. And he beat me up, and he told me if I dare escape, the police will kill me on the street. So when he beat me, I had blood over my face. I called the police, NYPD. He said it's connected to the police. I said, and the NYPD told me, get out of the house. I was like, can you please arrest him? He's like, no. I was like, Governor Cuomo in 2020 signed the law shelter in place that wherever you are in that 2020 is your home. I said, so now I have tenancy right. I said, he's been holding me hostage for 7 days. I said, I came here to use the bathroom initially, and he held me hostage. They were like, I said, so under Governor Cuomo's executive order, I have tenancy rights, and I say, so please, you gotta let me stay here and arrest him instead because he's violent. I want to sign I said, I want to file what's that thing called? Restraining order against him. They were like, no, this is his house. I was like, Governor Cuomo said, if you're staying somewhere, even for just one day. The police can evict you because the housing court is closed. And shelter-in-place law. They're like, we don't care about the court order, and they threw me out. And after they threw me out on the street, I had a lot of belongings. People have been robbing my belongings. I had like 5 carts like this of belongings. Because I've been homeless since 2010. When the police watched me naked and kicked my mother out, came into our home, evicted us from a place of apartment, and Regana was going to be helping me, and they went and choked Regana dead on a day synonymous with my birthday, around my birthday. My birthday is July 8. They killed him July 17. I used to go to Black American church, and the pastor used to say 17 is also like number 8 to God. That God always had numbers together, 1 plus 7 equals 8. And it says the number 8 is a powerful day. God does great things. So well, anything you do on the 8th is always successful. And they went and killed my friend on the 17th, July 17th, a week after my birthday. 1 plus 7 is 8. And they succeeded in killing him, and they said they stole money from him. So they're using my spirituality against me. Also, there's a Nigerian church, and you always watch their video on YouTube, and the pastor said, say anything you want to do it in the morning. It's going to be successful in 2015. And they killed my mother early in the morning. So I believe her death was pre-orchestrated by ICE, and a daughter that was working for ICE, Bolale, and I still work for ICE, because they killed my mother early in the morning on a Wednesday. I was born on a Wednesday, July 8, 1981. And there's this Black American radio host. His name is Charlemagne, and every Wednesday will be saying, "Hub day is up day," and people will be telling me, people, will be calling me mama, as I'm begging for money. They'll be sending people to call. I'm not anybody's mama, So I guess some people are trying to kill me and claim I adopted a child, and the child will inherit the money. There's loopholes in American law called parentage by estoppel. That if you have any form of, if a parent says you were planning to adopt a child, the courts can formalize the adoption even behind your back if you die, because the courts always bend over backwards for the interest of the child, especially if there's a lot of money involved. If you die and you have a lot of money, and the parent now goes to court and say, this person had a relationship with my child or whatever, or had a relationship with me and wanted to adopt my child, but this person died too early, we couldn't formalize it. They said, the court always bends over backward for the welfare of the child, and they will just formalize the agreement behind your back. So I didn't adopt anybody's child. I'm not planning to adopt anybody's child. I'm single or married. I'm a gay. I was born a boy. I'm now a girl. So I shouldn't be put under duress, to adopt anybody's child. I don't have an interest in adopting anybody's child. So if anybody claims that, they are lying against me. As at this point, I'm not married. I've not been married to anyone. I'm single or married, and I didn't adopt anybody's child. So this is what's going on. So they said ICE just killed a guy in Minnesota before. Some weeks ago, they killed a woman, Miss Good. So this is crazy. And anytime there's a killing like that, there will be an attempt to also kill me. Because they believe they can easily get away with killing me because my mother is dead, my father is dead, my mother's daughters are killers. She also has another daughter in Nigeria, Funke. See, that one is also a killer. That one tried to throw me out of the window as a baby in Nigeria because she was mad that her father is different from mine, and my mother got arrested. But her father's family are very important, so they released her from prison. So I never got justice in Nigeria. Now I don't get justice. So my mother, because of that, she didn't file a green card for her daughter when my mother became a U.S. citizen. So that one in Nigeria, Funke, is so mad that she can't come to America as a green card holder. But I think she came here to bury my mother. They buried her behind my dad. But so my mother said, I should be careful. Our daughters are united, and they're trying to kill me and rob me because our daughters don't like me. Also, the Polale, when I came to America with my mother, she used to say even our own dog is gay, like me, because our dog is a male dog that likes to sniff other dogs' anuses. And she went and gave the dog away to adoption, and that's Bolale. And the one called Flora, she always called me gay and stuff, So my mother said they were very jealous when I was suing NYPD. They were very jealous I was going to win money, because my mother just brought me to America, and they've been living here longer than me. They were born in New York, and they saw, I was about to get money from NYPD, So my mother said that was why they decided to try to mess my case up, and they were making an attempt to kill my mother. My mother said after I would put my mother in the backseat of the car and speed and go and hit somebody's house, on purpose. And the person would have to call the 911 that somebody just came and drove their car to hit the house. That Flora would try to, as a husband at Yinde, when my mother was living with them in Pennsylvania after the police took me to my mother's house on Staten Island, so that Yinde would hit my mother with a dirty plunger to her face. It would clog up the bathroom. He's a former U.S. soldier. So my mother went to live with that Bolale. So that Bolale would leave stuff on the floor for my mother to trip on. So my mother has a heart disease. And she said that Flora came to visit her and she fell on the stuff. I had to go to the hospital. So my mother had to shovel the snow. That Bolale, she has a house and she left the house. Snow on the floor for like many days. So my mother said that Bolale never used to do that. She was just trying to get my mother hospitalized and killed because my mother has a heart problem and she was elderly and she had tripped and fall. Like there was this New York Joe Lieberman, he tripped and fall in his house and died. The U.S. Congress senator, so old people when they trip like that, they don't always survive. And finally, my mother said that daughter was feeding her counterfeit poison, also because she was also an Uber driver. But I think she works for ICE now or whatever, and she was also an Uber driver. And he said, my mother said, anytime that brother gave her food, my mother's heart would start racing, and she started having swollen legs, And I used to go to a Nigerian church. And the pastor is Pastor Ike. He was the lawyer for city council, corporation council. They defend the NYPD whenever the NYPD kills somebody. So that pastor, I was telling him, look, the NYPD took my home. I'm suing them in court, and they killed my friend regarding. I was like, could you please help me, and that pastor wouldn't help me. But he told me my mother would die of a heart attack soon, so I should tell her to leave Pennsylvania and come to New York. So he's going to rent me and my mother a room to be staying together. So I told my mother about it. She was like, that, and she told me that pastor is right. She said, she didn't want to even tell me that, but he said that pastor is right because that Bolale has been feeding her counterfeit poison. So I told my mother, come to the church. The pastor said you have to come, otherwise you're going to die of a heart attack. But he said the devil is the one that wants to kill her. My mother was like, that's no devil that wants to kill her. I said, it's her daughter that's feeding her counterfeit poison. I said, the guy works with the NYPD. And he said, God showed him the devil wants to kill her. That's like, so I believe ICE may have told the brother to kill my mother and steal the money that me and my mother plan to get from suing ICE. And they kill her regardless. So this is real terrorism going on. So the ICE have, orchestrated or accessory to kill every gunner, to kill my mother, and I'm the one being targeted next. And on my mother's birthday, my daughter's birthday, our birthday is August 14, on November 14, a day connotates my mother's birthday. I went to use the bathroom in Manhattan, and 7 police officers showed up. They told me they're all from Venezuela. I'm like, how is it possible? 7 Venezuelan police officers. I'm in New York City, I'm not in Venezuela. And they dragged me out of the bathroom, was choking me, And 2 weeks later, Trump brought the Venezuelan president down the street to come to court near Chambers Street, to do 2 train. The federal court is there. So I criticize Trump a lot, So it's like because I used to go to Trump's hotel in 2011, Trump's Taj Mahal Hotel casino, and I won a lot of money, and they called the police to chase me away, and they wouldn't give me the money. So the New York, a senator from Arizona, Mr. Mark Kelly, Senator Kelly, said they've been getting a lot of report that Trump was duping people in his hotel in 2011. People will come to gamble, and when they win money, he won't pay them, and now declare bankruptcy. So they're looking for witnesses. So I think, Trump and this Eric Adams may have got the police to arrest me and try to kill me just to shut me up, because Trump doesn't want any witness to testify before Congress because they say they want to impeach him again. And then he did the most, brought the Venezuela president here 2 weeks later. Like, I guess he did that as an act of intimidation, that you better shut up. If I can get a president arrested, I can get you arrested. And before that, Trump was insinuating that Nigeria is such a disgrace, we're going to take over Nigeria. In that same November, before the police came into the bathroom and accused him of stealing cell phone wrongfully. So I was telling people on the train that I think that that threat is just a veiled threat towards me. that is not really trying to take over Nigeria. And, and people just look at me like, okay, you're not that important, take it easy. And they did that to me, on November 14th, a day synonymous with my mother's birthday, my mother's daughter's birthday. So, because if I'm killed, it's only usually the family member of the deceased that will speak out. So I think they were bribing my mother's daughter, like, look, oh, you want money, right? So they made an attempt to kill me on the 14th. And her birthday is the 14th also. So she figured out, okay, so, so we're going to give you the money. We're going to, we're going to let you get away with calling your brother, your sibling crazy. I was a boy, I'm not a girl. So we just paid the money. We wouldn't even dispute it. We just say, okay, yeah, your sibling is crazy. The police killed them in the bathroom. We believe they're crazy. That's why they didn't sue immigration when immigration arrested them around 25 years ago. So I believe that's why they attacked me on the 14th, and they were driving me mad, rage baiting me. Like this woman that trains dogs, maybe she works for the police department, and she was saying, I'm rage baiting my dog. So this is crazy. Like this woman on Instagram,
Oh, wow, what a good boy. He's cute.
And the police were referring to her, to arresting me. They say, use your house voice. As I was screaming, I was crying, I was crying. So I said, no, say, use your house voice. When he starts barking also, she always tells him, use your house voice.
Can you say, yummy?
So he speaks English, but sometimes he gets excited, start barking. I should say, use your house voice. So I don't know if she works with eyes to help them train the animals. So this is real. And when I go to the restaurant now at Chaparro in front of the immigration office, 26 Verde Plaza, the worker will try to beat me up. Kick myself if I dare use the bathroom after I buy food. So they're rage baiting me. They say this is how they kill blacks. So my life is not safe. So please donate money to me if you're watching my video. If you're a lawyer, please, I need your representation. If I'm arrested by ICE, if I'm put in a mental home, please go and file abuse corpses to release me. My immigration file number is A7795462. My name is Babatunde Olabopo. You can get the spelling on my social media account. And my birthday is July 8, 1981. When they arrested me on November 4, 2025, they misspelled my name. They mismatched my name. They made my last name my first name, my last name. So that they were planning to lock me up in a mental home, so that nobody will be able to trace me and they can just kill me. And say, if nobody comes for your corpse, if you die in New York City within 6 months, they'll go and bury you in a mass grave. So to give my mother's daughters ample opportunity, to get away with stealing my money, they can just wait till I disappear for a year and then go file a missing persons report and declare me dead and get the money. So she may be monitoring my social media account, and if I don't post in 1 year, then she go get the money. And I've been seeing her trolling me, and she came around that neighborhood after that November 4th, 2025. As I was begging for money, she walked past me. At first was like, and she walked past me in front of the 2 train station, Broadway and Chambers. And actually was like, oh, you didn't die, damn it, And she was like, she has a kind of like sassy attitude like that. She was born in New York, and this is crazy. This is just, so FIFA is not safe here. I can't even believe this myself. I'm stuck here trying to use the bathroom, So this is just too wild. So that, and their immigration, their MTA, I put money in my card. My card's supposed to expire on Sunday. They're just doing whatever. So these Africans, they are not a match to us. We can eat this person alive. They said 10 million Africans were killed during slavery. So this is a genocide. And sometimes they surround the bathroom door with the police. Anytime I come, it's always drama. Me trying to use the bathroom. And this is against the American with Disability Act that says you can't target someone because of their medical condition in a public place, public accommodation law. This is against the Matthew Shepard anti-gay hate law. Matthew Shepard was a gay person in the 1990s. It was a white guy, gay, and a bunch of whites mobbed him and beat him dead. So it's actually a capital sentence to kill somebody if they're gay. And they attempt to kill me. If I try to use the Penn Station bathroom, they always call the police on me and say I stink. If I try to use the Port Authority bathroom, these are places where buses and trains leave Canada and Mexico to come here. If for 30 battle, the person come and kick the door open and try to drag me out. So this is why this Trump said he wants Eric Adams to not go to prison for a Turkish bribery case. So he's using him for a covert immigration war. So their plan is just to kill me and give the money to my mother's daughters, as inheritance money. So I solemnly swear under United States perjury laws and U.S. Constitution and other relevant laws that I'm solely seeking non-conditional charitable humanitarian financial donation assistance to my Cash App, NYC owners, or to me person. And I'm also seeking legal help, because I may be arrested and killed, locked up in a mental home wrongfully. So I attempted to kidnap, racketeering. I'm also seeking legal help also. And, but I'm not seeking surrogacy, or I'm not seeking marriage with anyone, or I'm not seeking membership in any cult or gang, or I'm not seeking friendship with anyone, whether secret or open, or I'm not seeking membership in any cult or gang, whether religious cult or gang, or social cult or gang, or sexual cult or gang, and I'm not seeking membership in any violent gang. A guy told me, he was wearing a hat saying "fuck ICE." As I was begging for money, he said he doesn't have any money to give me, and he told me, "Oh, you look like somebody that can fight." I said, "You look like you look like a character in Mortal Kombat that he likes to fight people." Also, in the game videos, my mask looks like a character in Mortal Kombat game video. So I said I'm not into violence. I don't want nobody to lure me to their house and beat me up, rape me, steal my sperm, and create a baby and claim that's the way I wanted it. I wanted to be beaten up and killed. They said a guy did that here in New York. He was raping women and making them sign that they voluntarily wanted to be raped. And he formed the cult called Sarah Lawrence College Cult, upstate New York. And the feds arrested him, and his defense was these women signed an agreement that they wanted to be raped, and they were paying him money to rape them. But the feds were able to prove by having those women testify, the jury was able to see he was using manipulation. So in my case, if they kill me and the jury is not able to hear from me, they may think that's what I wanted to happen to me. So their ICE is out of control. That guy may be working for ICE, but was wearing a hat saying "fuck ICE." I told me he's a black American, he doesn't like ICE. I'm like, okay, that's very interesting. And he told me, he likes to engage in violence and stuff. I said, no, I'm not looking for violence. Please don't kidnap my woman at home and steal my sperm. I share my inheritance with the ICE agents. So this is crazy. And also, in case I die or I'm killed, no family member or friend or so-called friend should administer my estate or get anything from my estate. Only civil rights activists like me, only civil rights activists that haven't denied me help in the past should administer my estate and get justice for me and my late mother, and then donate the rest of my assets in charitable contribution to those suffering xenophobia like me and my late mother. And those being deported by Trump should prioritize for assistance. And also nobody should make a movie about me. When I was in Nigeria, people used to tell me I look like Michael Jackson. I don't look like him anymore, because I've grown that face. But I used to post online. I used to say I recorded songs for Michael Jackson. I used to send it to him from Nigeria. But the United States Postal Service, the postmaster, whatever they call them, would send my cassette back to me saying Michael Jackson has moved from that address and the mail was undeliverable. So I was telling people that one day I'll go back to Nigeria and get those cassettes and we record the song and sell it. So I guess some gang have already raided my home and steal that song, and they may be working with my mother's daughters to kill me and then do a movie about me that I came to America to become Michael Jackson and I died in the process, just to get black Americans excited to watch the movie. It's because there's some black Americans that don't like Africans and like to mock us. They say we sold their ancestors into slavery and they want to get revenge. So please, I did not come to America to become Michael Jackson, and no movie should be made about me if I'm not alive. Any movie any movie about me has to have me in that movie. I directed it, I'm participating in it from the beginning to end, and I should be alive even to promote the movie. So I don't want to be involved in any movie if I'm not alive. From the beginning to the end, and fully participate and direct it. So please, under the right of sepulchre, you have to abide by what somebody says while they're alive. New York State has the law of sepulchre. That means whatever somebody says when they're alive, you have to let it apply to them in death. You don't, just, because otherwise it's punishable by imprisonment and by damages in civil court. So this is what is going on. So anytime they say I'm low on money, because people have not been donating money to me a while, it's so cold, they try to rob me, and I guess, and they're trying to get me to commit suicide. Even when they locked me up in the mental ward in 2019, they said I was, suicidal and stuff. I'm like, where did they get that from? I never expressed any suicidal ideation to anyone. And also, I was, when my mother brought me here from Nigeria in 2000, so I was staying with my mother after I got released from prison while my case was going on, after I got bailed out. So my mother was tired of taking care of me because her daughters wouldn't help her with money, and she was just making $6 an hour. So her daughters told her to be calling the police on me and lie that, I have a mental illness because I don't like to go to work or school, and I stay home all day. So the police would take me to the hospital in Staten Island near her house, St. Vincent Hospital. So I was explaining to the psychiatrist that she's an Indian lady, or either she's from India or Sri Lankan. And I was explaining to her that, look, the reason why I stay home all day is because I don't have work papers. I have an immigration case, and my mother can't pay for my schooling. I've already finished high school at 15 in Nigeria. But all my mother earns is like $6 an hour. So I said my mother's just trying to dump me because she's tired of taking care of me while my immigration case is pending court. So the psychiatrist warned my mother that next time she does that, try to traffic me by dumping me in a mental ward and lie on me, that they're going to arrest her or lock her up in the mental ward herself. So my mother stopped doing that. But when I was in Nigeria, I had I used to use a skin lightening cream called Mercury. It was imported from England. They used to dump a lot of skin lightening cream from England, and a lot of them have mercury. So I used to use that cream, and all of a sudden my eyes started crossing. So when I came to America, I told my mother's daughters about it, that look, I may have used poison, I may have mercury poison in my body, and it's causing my eye to cross on and off. And I told her that I wanted to go to see a eye doctor, and they manipulated me to go to a psychiatrist instead. Say psychiatrist will be able to help you better, And so I went to a psychiatrist in Staten Island. She was Russian. She's not like she's Russian, but she has a medical license, so I'm sure she understands English. So I told her when I was in Nigeria, I was using a skin cream that may have mercury, and I researched online that mercury causes eye to cross. And I said sometimes my eye crosses on and off. And I said, and she told me, it sounds like I'm delusional, that she's not aware of any skin cream that causes people's eye to cross. And she was like, she was just going to diagnose me as delusional. I'm like, no, please send me to an ophthalmologist to check my eye muscle. As I read online that, mercury poisoning can lead to eye crossing. And she was like, she's never heard of any instance where a skin cream can make somebody eye cross. I said, but please send me to a neuro-ophthalmologist or a real ophthalmologist. She was like, no, I'm just going to diagnose you as delusional. She said, she's like, you may just be overly worried about something that's not true. So I told my mother I was misdiagnosed by the doctor. So she told her daughters, so my mother told the landlord to kick me out. So good, so I was crazy, and the landlord kicked my mother out. So my mother went and rented a hotel for both of us. I'm like, if we were paying $50 a day and she was earning $6 an hour, I'm like, we're not going to be able to pay for this hotel room. She was like, she's just tired of living in an apartment. We're living in rooms, because the landlord don't want two people in a room. And she said, we're just going to stay in the hotel. Then one day she told me to follow her to Pennsylvania. We left Staten Island, and she told me to come to Manhattan with her. When we got to Manhattan, and so I buy a bus ticket to go to Pennsylvania. I'm like, no, I'm not going with you with your daughter to your daughter's house. They're very violent. They used to beat you up in Nigeria when you took them to Nigeria, and you had to bring them to America. You had to have a white family come get them to come to America to stay, because they said they don't want to stay in Nigeria. And when they got here, they beat up the white family. They had to put them in prison because I don't want to stay with your daughters. So my mother told me, no, I'm just going there for a few hours. I'm going to come back with you. So she bought the bus ticket for me and her to come and to go to Pennsylvania and come back the same day. So she held the bus ticket in her hand. So when we got to Pennsylvania, we went to our daughter's house 636 Industry Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15210. This was in 2001. So as soon as we got into the house, the daughter Flora and my mother came outside. So I followed them and they got in the car. So I got in the car also. So that Flora told me no. I was like, I think you're taking my mother to the Greyhound station to come back to New York. I said, she has my bus ticket. I'm going also because I don't want to be trafficked and abandoned here. I said, I have a court case in New York to go to for my immigration case. And she told me, get out, get out. So as I was getting out, she sped off and I fell down from the car seat. And while I was on the floor, my other sister Bolani called 911, and she lied on me that I had a weapon. I was about to attack her, and people outside were watching. Like, why did Flora try to hit me with a car? And my other sister was just watching and calling 911. And the police arrived and took me away. I was telling them, look, I was kidnapped from New York, have an immigration case. My family members trafficked me here from Nigeria. And then when I got to New York, I had an immigration case, and now they trafficked me here to Pittsburgh. And the police won't listen to me because I have a Nigerian accent, and my mother's daughters are born in America. They have an American accent, so they took me away. The Pittsburgh police, they almost killed me, and took me away to Mercy Psychiatric Hospital in Pittsburgh in 2001. So I explained to them, look, I have an immigration case. I was trafficked by my mother here on that false pretext that she told me I was qualified to come with her. And when I got at JFK, they told me I wasn't qualified, and they arrested me, even though they could have given me a visa called humanitarian visa for children of permanent residents, because the U.S. has a law that you can't separate a mother and child, the Family Reunification Act. This was signed in the 1980s by Congress. So they said, so they have a special visa called humanitarian visa. So if you're a minor child and your mother has a green card, even if you don't have a visa, they're supposed to give it to you at the airport. But they didn't want to do that. They just locked me up in prison and for deportation and stuff, so I didn't have the right visa. So I was explaining to the psychiatric hospital that, look, I'm just a victim of human trafficking, and my mother was done with me, and she and her sister, she and my siblings decided to concord that, I'm crazy, and I'm just imagining having an immigration case. I said I do have an immigration case. So they asked my mother's daughter, Bolale, in Pennsylvania, that called the police on me, that do I have an immigration case or not? And she also lied that I don't have an immigration case. I'm just imagining. So the doctors told me they don't believe I have an immigration case. They're just going to keep me medicated. So I called my lawyer, Ralph DiPietro in New York. He's an immigration lawyer. So he spoke with her that I do have an immigration case. So the doctors felt stupid. They were like, they really believe my sister, Bolale, they were like, she's such a good liar, because they've never seen a case where a family member would just lie about somebody and claim they don't have an immigration case when they have an immigration case, and hold them hostage in the hospital so they will miss their immigration court and get deported. So they told me they're sorry, and they released me, and they never got arrested in 2001. 14 years later, that Bolani and Flora did it to my mother, poisoned her with counterfeit poison. My mother went to live with them in 2015 because me and my mother was taken by the NYPD wrongfully, and they killed her. We got her up in my mother, the police, with the court papers, 13 CV 5052 in Brooklyn Federal Court. They killed her close to my birthday. So my mother went to stay with her daughters, and the daughters were poisoning her. So my mother fled back to New York to come to the hospital, and they must have put a track on my mother's back because my mother didn't tell them what hospital she was in. And they came to that same hospital, Bellevue Hospital, against my mother's will. And it's this, which is against HIPAA. U.S. HIPAA law says nobody has the right to trespass into a hospital unless the patient gives them the permission. My mother said she didn't tell her daughters to come to the hospital, and they came without permission. And they were telling the hospital to lock her up in the psych ward, because my mother also had a misdiagnosis for mental illness, because when I first came to America, she and her daughters used to call the police to lock me up in the Staten Island hospital called St. Vincent, and the Indian psychiatrist found out that they were lying about me and told my mother that the next time she comes to the hospital, they're going to lock her up in the mental ward. So one day my mother felt sick, so I called 911. She was telling me she was feeling paralyzed, her body, she couldn't move her hand and body very well. She had a high blood pressure. So I called 911 to take her to the hospital, and they took her to that same hospital. So as soon as the Indian psychiatrist saw her, she was like, this woman, you're back again? And decided to not treat her for hypertension and went and locked her up in the psych ward and misdiagnosed her as crazy. So our daughters used that misdiagnosis in 2001, to now convince to poison her in 2015 with counterfeit poison, so that nobody would really believe her. She said, they were poisoning her, and then told the hospital to lock her up in the mental ward and kill her that way. So my mother's dead, my father's also dead, and now, I'm being jumped. Anytime I want to use the bathroom, they troll me, the MTA, because they see I'm an abused child, I'm not an adult, and I believe they all want to get bribed. They want my mother's daughters to be able to kill me. So, and the best way is to put me in a mental home, like this guy on Instagram. He talks about me a lot, and he's wearing a green and white hat. He just got released from prison, so I guess whoever's giving him the information, he doesn't want to really expose. Each time I send him a message and tell him, sir, I think you're talking about me. Please expose who's telling you things about me. He doesn't respond back to me. So silence is completeness, But I guess, it may be helping to keep me alive. At least people that are trying to keep me aware that other people are aware. I don't know if you're also trying to get leverage so that if anything happens to me, they can bribe him to continue keeping quiet. I don't know if they're trying to help me or they're just building leverage so that if I get killed, they can bribe him to not say nothing. Say many more to my dog. So he just put, so I believe he's saying this snow fall, they're going to try everything to get me angry and kill me during the snowfall. So he put another post there. I look slow. He's wearing a green hat with a New York. Nigerian flag is green. So, they say people always snitch in funny ways like that. And this is not funny. My life is in danger. So please, any lawyers out there, please, help me. I want to file a court lawsuit to stop and to tell this MTA and the NYPD to stop and desist and release all of their agents attacking me to be put in prison for attempted kidnap, for attempted the attempt to defraud United States taxpayers' money by locking me up in a mental home and getting my mother's daughters to take control of my estate. And I guess why they're anxious is there's a 10-year statute of limitation. I've been trying to sue the U.S. immigration also. That my mother died 10 years ago, and due to she started having a heart problem while I was locked up in immigration prison. I had an immigration court case, and our daughters took advantage of that to lock her up in the mental ward and killed her. So the 10-year statute of limitation expired this January. So I get this why they're anxious. I already missed the 10-year statute of limitation, and they want to lock me up to seek extension of time. So if they can lock me up in a mental home immediately, then they can then go to court and argue and say, look, this person missed all the statute of limitation, because they were mentally retarded, So I guess that's why they're anxious. They say criminals, when they're anxious, they start making many mistakes. So they're just, doing whatever to get me angry. Like that woman that trains the dog, Pluto, said she's rage baiting also. So this is a rage bait. Stealing money from my bank, from my metro card, leaving me stranded. This is an attempted kidnap. It's so cold out here. I'm freezing and I can't use the bathroom. I have diarrhea. I almost messed up my pants. So, this is racketeering. This MTA gets federal funds. So this is a big case. And they say black people don't always get justice. Even the black Americans that were enslaved, their ancestors were enslaved, when they sued for compensation, and they told them it's too late. It's their forefathers that should have sued. That slavery is over. They said even Martin Luther King, his family said they had information that the FBI hired the assassin that killed them. But they said they could only sue in South Carolina or North Carolina because part of the plan was hatched there. And they have long statute of limitation to sue. But the only thing is they limit the damage award to $100. And they want $100 for Martin Luther King's death. So this is a real genocide whereby they're ambushing me using rage-bait method. So please, I need you lawyers, you members of the civil society, to please intervene and lock up this MTA CEO, lock up the MTA workers, lock up the police and ICE officers trying to defraud United States taxpayers' money by harming me and then having their agents, Bolanle, my mother's daughters, take over my state. This is a kidnap. This is disgraceful, and it's not safe to host the World Cup. The FIFA should postpone the World Cup here because they're ambushing us Africans. Another African, they've stolen his green card. They've stolen my green card. When my mother was alive, she's from Nigeria also. She told me they stole a U.S. passport. Another Nigerian said they locked him up in the mental ward. They locked me up also in the mental ward wrongfully. They locked my mother up in the mental ward wrongfully. So this is crazy. It's not safe, FIFA. They need to postpone the World Cup. You know, I'm about to have a heart attack. I'm just trying to balance myself. I know it's a big thing, you know. But all you sick souls here in the United States, the world will get you. You may think you're a superpower and you're invincible. You're not invincible. You're going to be arrested. I'm going to keep posting about you. Even if you kill me, I'm going to be talking from the grave through this video. So you MTA CEO, Jana Liba, you Black American president of the MTA, Demetrius Krishlow, you know, you're all going to be arrested for accessory to kidnap and obstruction of justice because you're all aware about me. I emailed you, Demetrius, and you didn't help me. And a lot of the MTA workers will start staring at me. As soon as I arrive here, they start surrounding me and they'll bring the police around the bathroom. They'll start screaming and use the bathroom with rage bits. They say if they can get you to stand, they can kill you. This is an attempted murder. This is disgraceful. This is like genocide. The world keep talking about this. Keep posting my video. They've been caught. Liar, pants on fire. They've been caught, but they're so arrogant. They believe let's just continue with this. This person's father is dead. This person's mother is dead. These blacks don't usually get justice here. I think that's what it's about. This is a racial arrogance. This is xenophobic arrogance. And please, if you kill me, I'm a Nigerian. My mother is dead. My father is dead. But my God is alive. Okay? That you need to be more fearful of my God. You're going to learn when you end up in prison.